Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the staff and administration of Chicopee Comprehensive High School, it gives me great pride to introduce the class of 1993.
Honorable Mayor Joseph J. Chessie Jr., Superintendent of Schools Herbert Curry, Chairperson of the School Committee Marjorie Wojcik, Principal Mitchell S. Cusdall, honored platform guests, family, friends, and especially the members of the class of 1993. Congratulations! Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guy who will decide where to go. These words by Dr. Seuss remind us that today marks the end of a chapter in our lives, but also the beginning of a new one. As we leave the security of our high school days, we look ahead with anticipation at what lies before us, the future. The uncertain future that both scares and excites us. A future waiting for us to shape it. At times, we will face difficult moments and tough decisions as we strive toward our goals. Times when giving up on ourselves will become tempting. But it is from these times that we will grow and gain the wisdom to find the success that lies within each one of us. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98 3/4% guaranteed. Our graduation today also represents the culmination of 4 years of hard work here at Chicopee Comprehensive High School. With encouragement and support from our parents, teachers, and friends, we have accomplished the first step on the path to adulthood. Now, we must choose a path that is uniquely ours. I wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors and leave you with these parting words. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite to the podium the man we all came to hear, the Most Honorable Mayor, Mr. Joseph J. Chessie Jr.
I'm glad somebody came here today to hear me. When I asked my wife this morning, she said, "Are you talking?" And I said, "Yes," and she said, "No way." Herb Curry, Marge Wojcik, Mitch Cusdall, honored guest on a platform, family, friends, relatives, especially the graduates of 1993 of Chicopee Comprehensive High School. It is with great honor that I extend greetings and congratulations from the people of the city of Chicopee on this day of commencement. Much of this day is a celebration of achievement and reaching one of life's first milestones. But today also marks a new beginning, complete with diverse opportunities, exciting adventures, and fearsome challenges. I see seated here the promise of an outstanding future for our community and our nation. You leave this school and city taking with you all the knowledge and wisdom obtained in the past 4 years and move forward to apply what you have learned to make your dreams a reality. As high school graduates, many of you have chosen to move on to colleges and universities to pursue new goals and higher knowledge. Some of you have chosen to go directly into the workforce to become productive and contributing members of society, while others have chosen to join our armed forces to help defend our freedoms and democratic traditions. No matter what decision you have made, what path you have chosen to walk down, I know that you are prepared to work diligently to pursue excellence and to make your parents and your home community proud. Your parents and the taxpayers of this city have contributed millions of dollars towards your education, and we believe that is money well spent. Public education is one of the primary responsibilities of local government. Those of us in elected leadership positions, from the school committee to the Board of Aldermen and on to our state representatives and senators, recognize the supreme obligation of one generation to provide adequate education resources to the upcoming generations so that they can compete for good jobs at good wages and maintain a standard of living as good or better than enjoyed by your parents. Those of you who may ultimately choose to work in the public sector will be constantly challenged to find solutions to many of the important issues of our times: environmental and educational quality, human services for our senior citizens and our youth and our special needs population, government spending and tax policy, public safety and crime reduction, drug abuse and prevention, job creation, economic growth, race relation, urban revitalization, etc. The list seems endless, but the solutions are achievable if we put our collective minds to the task. Those of you who will enter the private sector will find the competition for jobs to be intense in this emerging global economy, and you will need to develop specialized technical skills that will meet the workplace requirements of the 21st century. While your future is yet to be shaped, you undoubtedly will reflect upon your experiences you have had at Chicopee Comprehensive High School, which have helped make you who you are today and what you may become. I hope that each of you will cherish these positive experiences and that you will continue to prosper in your personal development with hometown values held close to your heart. A noted educator, Booker T. Washington, once said, "I have learned that success is to be measured not so much by the position that one has reached in life as by the obstacles which they have overcome while trying to succeed." Today's celebration marks the overcoming of such an obstacle. Upon this graduation, I urge each and every one of you to fulfill your potential, not only for yourselves, but for those who have invested their time, money, and soul in your education. I am positive that each of you can leave your mark in such a manner that future generations will respect your values, your priorities, your decision, and your legacy. As the city of Chicopee is better off for you haven't spent these years with us, so too many future generations to be left better off from your great works. On behalf of the citizens of Chicopee, I wish you success, happiness, enrichment in whatever you may choose to do. Congratulations.
It is my distinct pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Herbert H. Curry.
Mayor Chessie, Mrs. Wojcik, Mr. Kuzdal, elected officials, administrators, faculty, parents, relatives, friends, and certainly members of the class of 1993. Every spring I have an opportunity to attend a number of graduation ceremonies ranging from preschool to college. Certainly they're different in nature, but there's one thing that's common to all. There's the overwhelming feeling of happiness and pride that's generated by these ceremonies. I'm sure each parent sitting out here is very, very happy for their sons or daughters. I'm sure you're proud of them, rightfully so. I would assume that each one of you graduates is happy and maybe in some cases relieved to be sitting here waiting for your diploma. I would assume that you're also proud that you successfully completed the requirements to do so. I'd like nothing more than to be able to stand up here and say a few words that would guarantee that this feeling of happiness and success will continue from this day forward. Unfortunately, I'm not that clever. I don't know anybody who is. I don't think there's a word or words that will guarantee you that you're going to live happily ever after, or that you're going to be a success. I can think of certain words that you're going to have to deal with in order to achieve these goals. The first one that comes to mind is competition. Competition isn't anything new to any of you. You've been competing for years, whether informally or formally. You were competing in kindergarten for the best toy in the play quarter. You've been competing on the playing fields. You've been competing for grades. You've been competing the way you dress and the type of car you have. You've been competing for girlfriends and boyfriends. You're not novices with competition. The major difference now is you're going to have to take competition to a different level. The results of competition are going to be much more significant. Those of you who are going out to further education certainly will again be competing for grades, but ultimately you'll all be competing for jobs and careers. How you handle this competition certainly will have a lasting effect on your quality of life. That brings about the next word I can think of, and that's response. How are you going to respond to competition? Well, like any other response, it can be active or passive. If you're passive in your response, if you sit and wait, you may sit and wait a long time. I can assure you that nobody's going to knock on your door offering you a great job or a tremendous career. You're going to have to do the knocking. Take an active part in competition. It's a challenge. View it as a challenge. Deal with it as a challenge. Do what you can to meet that particular challenge. You're not always going to win. There's no guarantee. That's reality. You're not always going to win. But hopefully it won't be because you didn't give your best. The third word I can think of is success. There are probably as many definitions of success out here as there are graduates. If your goal in life is to become the next Lee Iacocca of Chrysler Corporation or chairman of the board of General Motors, fine. But you have to understand there are going to be a lot of steps along the way. Take success as you get it. Success comes in all shapes and sizes. Success is being the best auto mechanic at Casey Chevrolet. Success is being on a dean's list at UMass. Success is being the best Marine recruit in your platoon at Parris Island. Success is being a good parent. Success is being an elected official and contributing to society or to your community. Success is being a good citizen. Take your successes as they come. Don't necessarily have to be satisfied. Take them as they come and build on them. Use them for the next step. I think I can sum the whole thing up by saying, from this point forward, whatever happens to you, for the most part, is in your hands. It's in your hands. You're going to be masters of your own fate. Hopefully, you will take whatever talents and abilities you have, use them to their full potential. Frankly, if you do that, I think happiness and success are going to be positive results of it. In conclusion, on behalf of Central Office Administration of Chicopee Public Schools, please accept our congratulations on your successful completion of the requirements for a diploma at Chicopee Comprehensive High School. Also accept our wishes for health, happiness, and success in your future. Please remember where you came from. Be proud of the fact that you're now joining that growing number of Chicopee Comprehensive alumni, and don't be afraid to tell people that. Good luck to each and every one of you. Have an enjoyable and safe evening.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our salutatorian, Timothy Curtin.
At this time, we would like to have the parents of Tim Mark Curtin to please step forward. Mother usually puts it on. Okay, there we are.
Welcome, Honorable Mayor Joseph J. Chessie Jr., Superintendent of Schools Herbert Curry, Chairperson of School Committee Marjorie Wojcik, Principal Mitchell S. Kuzdal, honored platform guests, family, friends, and members of the class of 1993. While I was searching for the right words to say this afternoon, I discovered a poem entitled Nobody by Shel Silverstein. I think that it describes our years at Chicopee Comprehensive well, and I'd like to share it with you now. Nobody. Nobody loves me. Nobody cares. Nobody picks me peaches and pears. Nobody offers me candy and cokes. Nobody listens and laughs at my jokes. Nobody helps when I get in a fight. Nobody does all my homework at night. Nobody misses me. Nobody cries. Nobody thinks I'm a wonderful guy. So if you ask me who's my best friend, in a whiz, I'll stand up and tell you that nobody is. But yesterday night, I got quite a scare. I woke up and nobody just wasn't there. I called out and reached out for nobody's hand, in the darkness where nobody usually stands. Then I poked through the house, in each cranny and nook, but I found somebody each place that I looked. I searched till I'm tired, and now, with the dawn, there's no doubt about it, nobody's gone. Graduating seniors, although it may seem to be a long time ago, remember when we entered comp as lowly freshmen. Remember the first day of school, walking through the doors into a huge, confusing building filled with new people and new experiences. Many of us knew few, if any, of our classmates. Many of us hardly knew ourselves. As freshmen in a school of upperclassmen, we often thought that nobody loved us and nobody cared. Each of us searched for his or her own unique place among these strangers by trying different activities. We involved ourselves in band, sports, or clubs. Sometimes we enjoyed what we tried, and we succeeded. Sometimes we did not. Since then, we've come a long way. Mr. Fleury got sick. Mr. Kennedy and Mrs. Magliola left. We got a new assistant principal, Mr. Kozakowski. We lost a classmate, Robert Gamond, whom we never really got to know, to leukemia. We won a cheerleading championship. We lost several football games. We learned to overcome life's difficulties and move on. We got to know new people, and we got to know ourselves. Gradually, nobody was replaced by somebody. We discovered ourselves through the friends we made, and often we liked what we saw. We each grew, from gawky, insecure freshmen to mature, self-confident seniors. We are now secure at Chicopee Comp. We have established our friendships and received our grades. Now, it is time to move on. We have all come to love something about this school. It might be Mr. Hutner's instant replays. It might be early wake-up calls on a band trip. It might even be Mr. Kuzdal's homeroom announcements for us and any neighbors listening in to have a pleasant working day. Whatever it is, when we look back at our years at Comp, we will remember and smile. Comp has taught us many things, not only the meaning of powder puff and frolic, but also who we are. It has also taught us another lesson. Here at Comp, we went from knowing no one to knowing many. We learned that we could replace our nobody with somebody's. No matter where we go from here, whether to college, into the military, or immediately into the workforce, we will have the confidence to try new experiences and to meet new people, and we will succeed. To all those who are the somebodies of the class of 1993, parents, teachers, advisors, administrators, and especially you, my fellow classmates. There's no doubt about it. Nobody is gone. Thank you for all that you have done to make the experience at Comp what it was. Never forget the time that you have spent here and the friends you have made. Good luck in all that you do. Thank you.
It is with pride and distinction that I introduce the Chicopee Comprehensive High School Band and the Chicopee Comprehensive High School Alumni Band under the supervision of Mr. William Sittard, who will play Top Gun.
It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you the valedictorian of the class of 1993, Dennis Desormier.
Will the parents of Dennis DeStormier please come forward?
To everyone here today that is sharing our achievement, our transition, and our spirit, and especially the class of 93. Author Tom Stoppard, in his play Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, wrote, "In every exit, there is an entrance somewhere else." We've all heard similar ideas, such as in the sayings, "Every end's a beginning," and "When one door closes, fortune usually opens another." But the quotation, "In every exit, there is an entrance somewhere else," tells us something more. You know, it's pretty ironic that I should be giving a farewell address about entries. Sure, the people who have stood in my place in past years have said to their classmates, "We're entering the real world now," or "The challenges will be much tougher from now on." But if you think about it, we're not entering the real world. We're continuing our lives in it. To begin with, you might remember freshman year when we had a rally out here on the old wooden bleachers, and that there were 315 of us. Now look, there are 232. What has the real world brought to the other 83? One of our classmates is missing. Robert Gomond will be sitting here with us today. He faced very tough challenges with a great deal of strength, courage, and spirit. Some among us have had to support themselves, working full-time, studying, and going to school, struggling to meet their challenges. Many of us have had experiences that we might prefer not to discuss, perhaps because of sorrow, perhaps because of shame. We've all had our taste of the real world. But now, we begin to change our roles in society from that of students who have been preparing for the future to that of adults who contribute to the present. Since birth, we've been learning to distinguish right from wrong, from parents, relatives, teachers, and even peers. But now it's our job to decide whose examples to follow, because some of these people have offered us clearer examples than others have offered. In the coming years, we'll further have to rely on the moral examples we have chosen to copy from these people. For we will face new challenges, not necessarily challenges greater than those we've already faced, but different types of challenges requiring a more mature approach. We exit high school, but we enter a new state of responsibility and independence. Just for a few minutes, picture your life as a big building. Okay? What's your goal? To get to the top floor, right? Maybe reaching the top floor for you is what you consider to be a happy and meaningful life. Perhaps the top floor represents material success. Maybe it represents spiritual realization or inner peace. Regardless of what your goal is, your journey to the top floor is not an easy one. In some rooms, you know what experience awaits you, though in others, the content of the room is a mystery. For as you move from floor to floor, just as you might have already discovered, you're on your own, but always experiencing happiness and disappointment. In some rooms, You know what experience awaits you. So you don't know what to prepare for. But the disappointing experiences can bring you down. Just as experiencing disappointment, you can appreciate the positive experiences all the more. The rooms containing happiness can be so hard to get to, but that's part of your challenge, to persevere and reach those experiences. We've already made it up quite a few floors. Today, we pass through that entrance or exit to the next floor. We see that the easy way, or the most pleasurable way, or the ways others would have us go, isn't always the best way. You know, maybe tripping down the stairs or getting stuck in the elevator of that building might even do us some good. But when we exit the school, and pass through the entry somewhere else, we need to remember never to block off a room of the building that we call life from somebody else. Your morals and your common sense should tell you this. For hurting others by ruining their experiences ultimately only closes entries for ourselves. It seems pretty foolish to shut the door on people by being hurtful in words or actions, when you can hold the door to a room open, or at least leave the light on. If there is one thing that you do, class of '93, please help another person along his journey to his top floor. Then your own journey, too, will be worthwhile.
It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Mr. George Murphy, a member of the youth activities of the Chicopee Lodge of Elks, who will present the Promarital Society Awards.
Okay. Christine Louise Lakota. Please hold your applause till everyone has received their recognition. Amy Beth Dooley. Michelle Marie Fontaine. Dennis DeSormier. Kristen Marie Bissonette. Mark Lawrence Wiley. Carrie Ann Longtoe. Timothy Michael Murphy. Samantha Ann Methot. Brian David Bowler. Michelle Yvonne Williams. Mark David Drapeau. Paula Diane Del Pelto. Jeremy Michael Hurley. Sharon Marie Dowd. Edward Raymond Perlak. Sherry Ann Helmer. Jason Adam Rivest. Nataya Nicole Thigpen. Timothy Mark Curtin. Tracy Ann Breton. David Joseph Schneewise. Mr. Murphy will now say a few words.
Mayor Chessie, Mr. Cusdell, ladies and gentlemen on the platform, family, friends, Chicopee Comp class of 1993. It is an honor and a privilege to address you today on behalf of the Chicopee Lodge of Elks. The Elks are proud to sponsor the Pro-Marital Honor Society program. We see it as nothing less than an investment in our future, the future of our city, the future of our country, the future of our world. You have given 4 years of dedication, hard work, and perseverance. All we ask from you now is to continue to dedicate yourselves to the commitment of making your future and ours a brighter place to be. Thank you, and congratulations, Chicopee Comp class of 1993.
At this time, I am pleased to bring before you our principal and all of our best friend, Mr. Mitchell S. Cusdell.
We thank you very much. We warmly express our deepest appreciation of gratitude to all the organizations and friends of Chicopee Comprehensive High School who had given our students financial assistance. It's only through your generosity that many of our youngsters are going to the colleges that they are going to now. From all of us, a sincere thank you. The amount that was given this year, and the amounts are still coming in, but as of 4 p.m. this afternoon, our graduates have received $112,000. So we thank all of you, and graduates, I hope that you thank them all for their assistance to you. Thank you very much.
At this time, I'd like to call up the school committee chairperson, Mrs. Marjorie Wojcik.
Mayor Chessie, Superintendent Curry, Principal Cusdell, platform guests, faculty, family, and friends of our honored guests, the class of 1993. Chicopee Comprehensive High School was born on the cutting edge of change, built for the so-called World War II baby boom generation. This school is a child of the 60s, a time when freedom of expression was also breaking new ground. Today, this continuing exploration has tested our understanding of freedom. Freedom of expression is more than just the visible presentation of a slogan, more than a t-shirt or a hat. It is certainly more than the words on the side of a building. It is more because words lead to action. And hurtful words are the seed of hurtful actions. What you express by what you wear or how you speak is important. Mr. Cusdell, principal here for more than 2 decades, has shown by his example the most basic tradition of Chicopee Comp, the tradition of civility, of respect for yourself and others. You must carry this tradition of respect into a world that is sorely in need of decency and tolerance. Now we see once again how hurtful words have led to devastating action. Today there is a war of shocking horror in the former Yugoslavia, a place where I pray no one of you will ever be sent to fight. A Serbian writer recently said this: I have been a very strong advocate of free expression. Yet I am convinced that the war in what used to be Yugoslavia is a war of words. All the hostilities of this war were triggered by words. She says that this abuse of the power of words opened the way for the destruction of the institution and social mechanisms that kept the multinational culture alive. She expressed her personal shame for not having spoken out sooner against her fellow Serbs, against those who poured vicious words on all who were different, against what she called the false prophets who have destroyed public discourse and civilization in Serbia. She considers what might have been, and of the words that polluted Serbia, she said, "We should have taken out the garbage when we first noticed the stench." This is a challenge to free men and women in a nation like America. This is the challenge to you, the class of 1993. You must guard against such pollution, against the poison power of hurtful words. As educated citizens, you must exercise your freedom to speak and act and criticize. This is the path to positive change. Yet we know also that one person's freedom must end where another person's begin. And the whole world, including our society, is testing those human limits now. We are at the crossroad of tolerance. I ask only this, that you speak and act freely, that you challenge both the world and yourself to do better, but to do so with a measure of respect for others. Freedom is a right that brings with it the responsibility to defend freedom for yourself and for others. Each of you is different in some way from the person on either side of you, whether by ethnic background, religion, race, or sex. I trust that you have learned to respect those differences and to seek out what you have in common as humans. I ask that you carry this respect for humanity into this world and that you actively teach others to celebrate the diversity that is so American and so much the source of our strength. As you make your mark on the world by words and action, let it be done with civility. From Serbia to India, from Bosnia to Iraq, our world is being fractured by a lack of tolerance so profound that whole people are being wiped out because they are different. We will not safeguard the freedom of our own diverse people unless we speak and act with tolerance and respect. Words can lead to action. I believe that you can build a better world on better words that lead to better action. But you must lead by example. It is the way to ensure freedom is preserved for all. Choose your words with care. Speak from your mind and heart as one, your true American spirit. Let that truly free spirit guide us all as we face the crossroads and choose the higher roads. Thank you, and good luck to all of you. By the powers given to me by the City of Chicopee and the school committee, I proclaim you the 1993 graduates.
At this time, I call upon Marjorie Wojcik and Mr. Kuzdal for the presentation of diplomas.
Yeah, well, Okay, Marge. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Are we ready now? Why don't they come up to the front there? Tracy Ann Breton. Carrie Kristen Padden. Wendy Ann Vians. Valerie Judy Banville. Dennis Gerald DeSormier Jr. Timothy Mark Curtin. Julie Ann Desolates. Paula Marie Bollier. Lisa Estelle Marie Bergeron. Mark Lawrence Wiley. Christine Marie Nadeau. Wayne Everett Cordo. Rachel Ann Garton. Rachel. Alan Patrick Moon Jr. Kimberly Susan Leonard, mother. Excuse me, Mrs. Leonard worked with us for some 20-odd years, and her daughter is graduating, so she has the distinct pleasure of awarding the diploma to her daughter. And a big kiss. Saul Garrett Renaud. What's her name? We'll have a momentary delay. Yeah, we'll just give her a blank one there. Yeah. Isn't it awful? All right, we're going to continue. Why don't you come to the podium now? Yeah, come on. What is it? You have what? Tanya Lynn Paul. Well, just take that one and just hold it. No, you have to give it back to David. No, give that back to David. That's David's now. Let me have it, please. Thank you. David Schneewis. David Joseph Schneewis. Elisa Jean Heath. It's great when we can make a mistake and have a little chuckle. This is great. Darren John Higgins. Christine Louise Lakota. Wait a minute. No, he's not. Sarah Beth McCann, excuse me. Christopher David Peichel. Andrina Lene Lee. Anthony Quadwell Brooks. Rita Ann Langevin. Jason Michael Kilpatrick. Stacy Ann Loss. Donna Marie McKelly. Benjamin Perilla. Shelley Divas. Yes? Tina Louise DeFranco. Nestor Rogelio Valdivieso. Laura Suzanne Kozalski. Anthony David Shannon. Jessica Lynn Kennison. Darren Gerard Bernier. Julie Ann Tatro. Matthew Philip Blaze. Amy Beth Dooley. Jameson John Buchanan. Charlene Marie LaRose. Stephen Michael Champagne. Amelia. All right, let's knock it off here. Amelia Janet Melendez. Jeffrey Patrick Kader. Kim Lee Perrell. Matthew Donald Collins. Tammy Lynn Batchelor. Richard George DeLeonardis. Kelly Jean Syria. Robert Thomas Dion Jr. Pamela Maxine Clark. Ronald Leroy Fay Jr. William Thomas Gajowski. Michelle Marie Fontaine. Brian Michael Gladue. Cheryl Lynn Fortin. Ryan Michael Maliga. Melanie Ann Goulet. Orlando Felipe Padilla. Bonnie Lee Watson. Celia Janice Alvarado. Kristen Marie Bissonette. Matthew Edward Desitels. Brenda Ann Hine. David Allen Diem. Carlene Marie Holmes. James Edward Grummel. Kelly Ann Longtope. Larry Jerome Kring. Lynn Ann Perrell. Again, we asked and appealed to the audience. We don't mind an occasional applause, but this hooting is disturbing to the members who wish to have their names read aloud. And in due reference and respect to all of the parents here, I know that they want to hear their sons and daughters' names read, so please let's be very cooperative. Thank you. Kevin Matthew LaPlante. April Ann Roberts. Ralph Joseph LePage Jr. Kelly Jean Walker. Miguel Angel Martinez. Terry Lee Walls. John Joseph Muglia III. Kimberly Ann Wilkins. Timothy Michael Murphy, Shelby Lorraine Bergeron, Brian Roger Laflamme, Bernice Alvarado. Is it? No. Okay. Webster Charles Brown, Carrie Allison Othier, Michael Harold Chenoweth, Megan Carol Brosnan, Michael David Christensen. Oh, and Mrs. Wiswell wants to give a hug, as Michael did indicate he wanted to see Mrs. Liswell to say hi. Mrs. Wiswell is a member of the Chicopee Schools Committee, Ward 6. Diane Jean Schweenard, Jason Bernard Como, Kimberly Ann Ittner, Wayne Joseph Constantine, Sarah Lynn Jasinski, Benjamin Scott Dano, Kimberly Ann Levine, Matthew Josiah Griffin, Nicole Ann LeBeau, Thomas John Laflamme, Marlene Helen Miskiff, Gregory Scott LaPlante, Carol M. Moore, Jeffrey Stephen Lavelle, Jessica Lee New, Amy Beth O'Brien, David Michael McCullough, Catherine Ann Pluff, Scott Michael Paul, Felicia Pluff, Stephen Daniel Pullen, Tracy Lee Roy. Is that rain? John Francis Veramy Jr., Tammy Lee Thurber, Scott Allen Perron, Shelley Marie Tourigny, Christopher James Tuska, Jill Marie Blazajowski, Whitey Allen Bergeron, Michael James Bernier, Eileen Ann Boudreau. Elena? Okay. Brian David Bowler, Tammy Jean Booton, Mark David Drapo, Nicole Marie Dorval, Shane Kenneth Duclos, Miriam Pearl Hadley, Keith Francis Ellsworth, Mary Alice Hinton, Eric Philip Estes, Angela Christie Marie King, Matthew Kim Gilpatrick, Carrie Ann Loganto, Eric James Gower. Samantha Ann Methot. Jeremy Michael Hurley. Amy Aline Monaco. Thomas John Kilbania Jr. Courtney Allison Pelletier. Jeffrey Donald LaFlamme. What about her? Oh, yeah. Alexandra Antoinette Beeler. Timothy Thomas Loudon. Michelle Yvonne Williams. Edward Matthew Malo. January Lee Wilson. Stefan Tristan Matty. Stacy Marie Diver. Tara Marie Pepin. Oh, okay. Jeffrey Allen Pluff. Yeah. George Edward Tiggle. Jennifer Marie Bovat. Joseph George Bergeron. Carla Jean Craven. Kevin Norman Brandt. Karen Lee Crevier. Scott Allen Kucher. Paula Diane DePalto. Eric Christian Dennis. Sharon Marie Dowd. Brett Michael Dumas. Erica Lynn Frame. Paul Peter Gingras. Adrian Hebert Gordon. Thank you. Daniel Joseph Kandelakis. Sherry Ann Helmer. Luke Lessard Jr. Jennifer Lynn Hero. James Paul Layden. Megan Jennifer Landry. Jonathan David Matlaz. Erica Lee Mailhoff. Edward Raymond Perlack. Nicole Yvonne Moore. Who? Carrie Ann Muha. Susan Laurie Thibault. Jason Adam Rivest. Nate Tiaya Nicole Thickpim. Sean Eric Kristen Elizabeth Zabrowski. Anthony John Stepno. Vicky Ann Bernacki. Carl Kenneth Bear. Russell John Bovin Jr. Elizabeth Flanagan. Jocelyn Yvonne DeShane. Lisa Jane Fortin, Michael Adrian Shagnon, Heather Jean Houle, Paul Victor Chapdelaine, Heather Marie Jagla, Jeffrey Todd Hamill, Laura Ann Jodwin, Richard Michael Harnoy, Alan Paul Lambert. Up this here too. Lori Ann Ryback. Keith Allen Lucier. Amy Elizabeth Wisniewski. Brian Raymond Merriam. Angela Lynn Bonk. Todd Joseph Martin. Erica Christelle Batoulier. Brian Keith Muha. Amy Lynn DeRush. Julian Penendez Pisa. This young man is with us from Spain. Kevin Joseph Thompson. Mary Elizabeth Michalski. Raymond Daniel Pluff. Patricia Michelle Bond. Eric Ralph Shimoko. Shimoko, my apologies. Angelique Marie Blanchard. Travis Linwood Williams. Candace Bernadine Clint. Oops. Joseph Edward Berthium. Lukasz Peter Jagovitz. Catherine Ann LaFountain. John Robert Heatwall. Martha Louise Duggar. Kevin Matthew Kane. Amanda Lynn Glasson. Andrew Joseph Kopaz. Scott Wayne Labonte. Sharon Michelle Paul. Wayne Donald Morphew. Greg J. Stefanik. Christopher Sean Raleigh. Jeremy Michael Lewis. Eric Francis Laser. Robert Ezel Crawford. Ladies and gentlemen, the members of the class of 1993. Now you can give them a thunderous ovation. You can blare the horns and let them know that you love them. Ladies and gentlemen, this past week was overflowing with activities, and at each of them, the class of 1993 enjoyed them all, and they enjoyed them immensely. The joy, the laughter, the respect for their friends was real heartwarming. Their behavior, their attitude was, as it has been throughout their life, unbelievably good. As parents, I know that you will agree with all of us here at Chicopee Comp that they were never any trouble at home at all. They did everything. They did everything that you asked them, and they did it with a great smile. And I can say here tonight, they did the same to us as they did to you. But we really enjoyed it. They were great kids, and we enjoyed them immensely. At this time, I would like to take the opportunity to thank our teaching staff for their commitment to offer our students the best education humanly possible. Also, our clerical staff always responded with loyalty, dedication, and willingness to complete any and all tasks that were assigned. The custodial staff discharged their duties with pride. Our cafeteria personnel fed our students with the best food possible. I have not seen an undernourished student here at Chicopee Comprehensive High School, so the food must be excellent. On the serious vein, ladies and gentlemen, and graduates of the class of 1993, William J. Bennett stated that it is necessary to supplement the 3 R's with the 3 C's, and they are content of subject matter, character, and choice of schools. Teaching strategies, teaching techniques, whether at home or at school, that don't stress values and morals of tradition are like walking in a vacuum. We must set our educational goals, our perceptions of success at levels higher than they've ever been before. But before a school can be successful, they must have fair, firm discipline. We must couple our intellectual growth with character development. The family, yes, the family once again, must be the forerunner of teaching character. The family, however, must be reinforced by our society, churches, schools, and other community organizations. Schools themselves must have character, and the leaders in the school and the staff must also have character. Political structures must recognize the value of people and set the tone for integrity, not only with words, but with deeds. Faith and trust must return, and all of us here today can become the catalyst to become partners in an effort to restore the value of character, the value of morality, and the value of positive attitudes. Real reform in education will never come from state or federal bureaucracies, and I wish to emphasize that it will never come from state or federal bureaucracies. It will come only from you, yes, all of you, and that includes you members in the class of 1993. Members of the class of 1993, I want you to know that you are the pivotal members in and of school change. We must institute and maintain a curriculum that will challenge every student in that magnificent edifice which stands behind you and in every community in our great nation. I ask, are you willing to share your responsibilities in developing character and maintaining an educational system that should be second to no nation on this earth? To the class of 1993, I think you heard me say hi to you at least 100 times in 4 years. Tonight I say hi, but also I must say a lonely so long. God bless each of you in all of your endeavors.
On behalf of the class of 1993, I would like to thank Mr. Siddard and the Chicopee Comp Alumni Band for their dedication and time that they put into their performance for our graduation tonight. As my final act as president of the class of 1993, I dissolve this class into the ranks of the alumni of Chicopee Comprehensive High School. Please move your tassels from the left to the right side of your cap. Congratulations.